fire wielders!
The Field Dog. What may sound like a myth or horror story to many is harsh reality for the 200 Iron Falcons of the canyon named Aeonir's Blade. According to legend, the guardian gods fought back the Field Dog, ancient mythical demons, and sealed them in a tomb. Ever since that day, the Field Dog have tried to break free, raising hordes of the undead from the sand to do their bidding. And it is only the Iron Falcons who stand between them and their return to the world.
Huh, quite the view. So that's where the Iron Falcons guard the Field Dog.
Well, whatever we do, we need to be careful. This place reeks of death and decay.
I know. We'll go in, get the stone, and leave. Maybe we won't even need to send in our army. Let's scout the area. Got it.
Hold on.
You're right, Whoa.
What is it?
I think I just saw something. A part of the canyon.
Odd.
Let me try again. Blazes. It works. I can see the canyon. Huh. Seems that these bones can only show one part of the valley at once. Damn it. Fascinating.
Now I've seen everything.
Was that a pun?
Plain old disbelief.
Either way, this might be useful against the undead. Here we go again, old friend. No rest for the wicked.
Told them we shouldn't do it.
Char's breath. Who are you? Who did this to you?
What?
I said, who are you?
No. No, Mother. It was him. Why don't you believe me? It was him!
He's hallucinating. This is pointless.
Mother? I can see this city now. Tiara's breath. It's so white. So beautiful.
He was an Iron Falcon. That's a bad sign.
Agreed. Seems that something happened down in that canyon. Let's be wary.
Sure.
Understood.
Got it.
Here we go. Undead.
Shit. Another bad sign. The Falcons are supposed to defend the entrance of the valley.
Walking corpses. Take them down.
Jesus! Help me, somebody!
I understand.
Undead.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Good move.
Interesting.
More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
Really?
Will do. Walking corpses. They will take them down.
Jesus! Help me, somebody! Leave it to me.
That way. All right.
Sure.
More of them.
Picked the wrong enemy.
This place is a bloody graveyard.
Pathetic. They will burn.
The fire wielders!
Is that all? Is that all?
Zarek guides me.
All right. The Falcons are definitely in trouble.
It's not just falcons, though.
Let's get down there. Got it.
Sure, fine.
Finally.
Got it.
Another death man? Look, friend, why can't you stick to our agreement for just an hour?
Deathmen? What do you mean?
What is this? Are you...
Now, would you look at that? The fabled falcons have called for reinforcements. They look a bit old, though. I always thought Lady Aranor likes her recruits young and ripe for plucking.
Hi, Keeper Aranor. And a hint of respect would be in order, Sir Catras.
Yeah, I know. You folk would kill for your formalities and traditions, even if it means sacrificing your own troops to a group of undead.
We're not reinforcements.
Oh,
Then who are you?
It's complicated. To put it shortly, we are looking for a relic that we believe to be hidden here in the desert.
Neatalf's helmet?
No, Shaper Energy Stone. Hard to explain.
Energy stone? Well, I hate to shatter your treasure hunting fantasies, but whatever it is you're looking for, you're going to have a hard time finding it. The Iron Falcons lost the fortress, and thus the tomb.
Shit. That's bad.
You make it sound as if we forgot to lock the door. Tell me, stranger, have you ever heard of the Bloodburn?
I have. What about it?
Well, most people think that it only affects the living. That's wrong. The Bloodburn has an effect on the dead, too. At least here. It wakes them.
The Bloodburn wakes the undead? How?
I don't know how. I only know what it does. Whenever a mage hears that cursed song, the undead rise. And it frenzies them, almost like somebody is speaking inside their heads.
Telepathy. It must be able to stimulate the remnants of their minds, even though they've died long ago.
I beg your pardon?
Doesn't matter. Is it possible that the undead also killed a scout of yours? We found one on the mountain pass.
Tiar's breath. That must have been Henry. We sent him to ask for reinforcements. May the Guardians have mercy on his soul.
We did all we could.
No need to be. He gave his life to protect Io, as we Falcons all will one day. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
And these undead overran your fortress?
8 days ago, yes. We were forced to retreat, and now they're continuously pushing us back. We're losing soldiers every day. It's a nightmare.
Damn it. No idea how precise these Shaper maps are, but according to them, the stone is hidden somewhere in the fortress.
I can hear you, and I know which stone you're talking about.
Lady Aranor, come to favor us with your lovely presence again?
Shut up. As I said, I believe I know which stone you're talking about. It's been with the Falcons as long as I can remember, but we never figured out its use. What do you want it for?
I'm working for someone who wants to put an end to the Bloodburn.
Lofty words. Look, stranger. If circumstances were different, we might discuss this. But right now, you're at the bottom of my priority list. I think it's best if you just go your way and look for another stone.
We can't do that. But maybe we could help.
You?
We and our army, which is waiting at the entrance of the canyon.
You're joking.
We're not. Go send a scout if you don't believe us.
Well, this just got a whole lot more interesting.
No. Whoever you are, there's no way on Io the Iron Falcons will cooperate with a bannerless army, deathmen or yours. The canyon is our responsibility. As I said, go back to where you came from and let us handle this. We've protected Aenir's blade for centuries, and we will not fail at it now. Hold the line, Kiroy.
Oof, look at those legs. Like pillars. If only she had half as much wits as she had muscle, this whole dilemma would have been resolved by now. Come to my camp if you want to talk. I think introductions are in order, and I can help you.
Good luck, stranger. Thanks for coming back. Sorry the Keeper treated you so harshly. Thing is, we really could use your help. Any help, that is. Our sisters and brothers are still in the fortress, and I'm afraid they won't make it much longer. And as much as I respect the commander, I think she shouldn't have dismissed your offer so quickly.
So, what do you suggest we do?
Well, she is our leader, so without her consent, we can't do anything. But you could try to gain her trust.
Tiara's breath, your men are in danger. Can't your commander just listen to reason?
Well, I fully agree with you. We have lost far too much time already. But knowing Highkeeper Aranor, I can tell you that this is the only way to convince her. 2 days ago, one of our brothers deserted. Find him and bring him back to Highkeeper Aranor. That should help you win her trust.
Catra said the Deathmen could help me too.
That man says a lot when the day is long. I hope you're not seriously considering working with these cutthroats.
You said that the Bloodburn woke them?
It still does. Every second night or so, our mages hear that forsaken song, and more undead rise from the ground. The fact that this place has been a battlefield for centuries doesn't make it better. There's as many bones as there are grains of sand.
Have you lost men to the Bloodburn too?
Well, most of us are magically gifted one way or the other, so hardly. But there have been casualties, yes.
That's harsh. Can't you just reclaim the fortress yourselves?
We've tried, but these undead, they are different. It's almost like this atrocity who is leading them, the one in the fortress, has given them some kind of intelligence. They are organized, almost like an army.
So the Deathmen are mercenaries? What do they want?
It's actually pretty simple. A relic. They were hired by some rich artifact collector from Everlight, who wants them to find Neathalf's helmet.
And it's here, in Aenir's blade?
Yes, but in our possession. And since it's a relic of the Guardians, we are obliged to protect it, as much as we are bound to protect the tomb of the File Darg. All this wouldn't be a problem if the undead hadn't taken our fortress. There's no way this group of cutthroats would have breached the walls. But now they want to help us free the fortress in return for the helmet.
That's a brazen move.
I agree. But it's also necessary. Even if the Guardians are watching us and judging our actions that very moment, they must see that the tomb of the File Darg and our brethren who are still in the fortress are more important than the helmet. But sadly, that is not how Highkeeper Aranor sees it. So, it's complicated. The Deathmen refuse to help as long as the Keeper doesn't swear to hand over the artifact in return.
I'll think about it.
Well, don't think too long. Every minute we waste might cost us dearly.
We should think this through, Tahar. I'm sure we can only get on the good side of one of them. Deathmen or Falcons.
Stay away! I'm not going back! Stay away! I'm not—
I take it you're the deserter.
Deserter? I'm the only one with a hint of reason. Did she send you? Highkeeper Aranor?
What do you mean by a hint of reason?
Isn't it obvious? That whole thing, it's ridiculous. Our brethren are still inside the fortress. Blaze is even Aranor's disciple is. But she just refuses to cooperate with the Deathmen. And why? Because she's too proud. She hides it behind the Falcon Way and our traditions. But that's nonsense. Yeah, sure, the Falcons are a purely human order. But that doesn't mean you can't accept help from a dark elf if the fate of Io depends on it, does it? Instead, she's planning this idiotic foray which will be the sure end of us all.
She's planning an attack?
You didn't know? Yes, tomorrow at night. It's pure madness, and I'm not throwing my life away like this. I'd rather die in the desert. But you're gonna take me back, aren't you? To the Falcons.
If I bring you back, will the High Keeper kill you?
I don't know. I'm a deserter, so it is her good right to do so, but maybe she will settle for a month in the dungeon. Still, just don't make me go back there, please.
Sort of. I'm here to bring you back to the Falcons' camp.
Well, what can I do? I'll go back. You don't look like the kind of person to argue with. But if I die, it's on you.
Don't lay off the blame. You made a choice, and now you have to face the consequences. Now move.
Yes, and I will gladly accept my punishment. But please, High Keeper, at least consider the offer.
We'll see. Now get back to your post, Kiroy. The undead aren't waiting for you.
High Keeper.
High Keeper Aranor?
I know what you did. You brought back Scion Merrick. Kiroy told me all about his little plan.
So, will you let us help you or not?
Fine. Yes, I will. Bring in that army of yours and we'll see if we can deal with the undead together. Though I'm still not sure how I like the idea of working with an offspring of the dark races.
When it comes to dealing with the undead, we are not that different.
Is that so? Well, I guess we need to try. Talk to Kiroy, my second-in-command. He'll show you where you can set up an outpost.
Wait, that boy is your second in command?
He's older than he looks and one of the most capable keepers. So yes, he is my second-in-command.
Fair enough. I will talk to him.
Good.
Interesting.
Yes? Please tell me you have good news.
I do. The High Keeper agreed to the alliance, and she told me you'd show us a spot for our army to make camp.
Finally, some good news. All right, I'll show you a good spot.
Hold on a moment. High Keeper Aranor said you're the Falcon's second in command?
Well, yes, I am.
Aren't you a bit young for that?
Maybe. Maybe not. Traditionally, the Falcon's recruits are chosen at the age of 6. In other words, I've been in this desert for 18 years, so I have experience.
Lead the way.
Sure.
Here, this is a good place to build your outpost. Once you're all set up and your army has arrived, we'll discuss further steps.
If you insist.
I think we're set.
You are. Though I didn't expect your army to be a horde of orcs. I only hope they know how to follow an order. The last thing we need now is anarchy.
They do.
Your word in Tiara's ear. Well, best we get started. I'll order a carriage of basic provisions to be delivered your way. It's not much, but as you can guess, most of our resources are in the fortress. Since you've also brought some craftsmen with you, we would be grateful if you could share some of your resources with us once you've started gathering. The more provisions we have, the better we'll fight. Just drop them off at our camp. Also, if you could take out those towers, that would help us tremendously.
Towers?
Yes, they are ancient Hibernian devices the Falcons have used for centuries to defend themselves against the undead. They have captured them and seem to be using them against us, which is, once more, worrying. Undead are meant to be mindless monsters, not tacticians. I strongly assume it's this creature who is leading them.
Understood. When do we strike the fortress?
Once we've gained enough ground and are prepared enough, I guess. That's really up to High Keeper Aranor and you to decide. Just make sure you fill her in on your plans. And yes, now that might be worth a try.
What?
There's an old catapult up to the northeast. When that whole bloodburn mess started, we pushed it up there to take out clusters of undead, but we were forced to retreat. If you can reclaim it, we can use it to our advantage.
All right, let's get to work then.
Do that. And I'm glad you came along. That attack the High Keeper planned to free the fortress. It would have been a suicide mission. You prevented one tragedy from happening, friend. Let's hope we can prevent the second one, too.
Madam? Madam!
You're the commander, aren't you? I am. What's wrong?
there's been a sighting of this entity again. You know, the one who comes with the bloodburn.
More undead.
Yes. All of us are busy keeping the hordes from the fortress at bay. But depending on how many this blasted song wakes up this time, we might be in for a lot of trouble.
Okay, I'll clear out that site. Where is it?
In the mountains, to the southwest. Thank you. And Tiara's blessings.
Our warriors are hungry. Let's find more food. We're almost out of stone.
Let's see. We should be fighting now.
Building completed.
All right. We'll be fast. Fair enough. Let's make this quick.
Building completed.
We'll make short work of them.
We're under attack! Good news. We finished researching a new technology.
Sure.
You picked the wrong enemies.
Whatever's necessary. I can't focus!
Goblin fast.
Corporal.
We've no more room for troops. We need to improve our outposts.
Let's see.
We're under attack!
Do you smell that? Incense. This must have been some kind of ritual site. Wait, did you hear that? Blazes. We're clear, but... what's that noise?
A Zarek Nar. A tribe eater.
A what?
The kind of demon that normally only appears in Barga Gor. According to the lore, when a tribe gets weak and frail and stops pursuing the struggle, Zarek sends these things from below the earth. They have wiped out entire tribes. Therefore the name. Bloody Song must have woken it. Shit. That's more than bad. If we don't calm it, it will tear our army to pieces. And it'll take the Falcons and the Deathmen right along with it.
Don't you think we can kill it?
We can try. But that will most likely end with our guts in that thing's belly. No, there has to... Wait. Yes, of course. The sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
Yes. We can put the Tribe Eater back to sleep. If we sacrifice someone to it. Maybe a soldier, a footman, anyone. If we don't do this, we're in for a lot of trouble.
I hate to say it, but it might be one life to save many.
Wait a moment. You want me to sacrifice a soldier? How am I even supposed to do that?
Send him into the circle. The demon will do the rest. And as cruel as it may sound, it's possible that he'll even thank us for it. Now let's act, Tahar. We're running out of time.
Forget about it. I'm not giving one of my soldiers to this beast. We'll run or fight it.
Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Anything on your mind? Yes? Yes?
Finally. Really?
Understood. Yes.
That way. All right.
Will do.
Iron's running low, Chieftain. We should change that.
What? Help me!
We've no more room for troops. We need to improve our outposts. Building completed. We're under attack!
Blasted, blistering blazes. That was close. Where by knee-half were those sodding falcons? They're supposed to keep the canyon safe.
They're busy. What are you even doing here? You're a long way from Windwall.
That's, complicated. Listen, friend, I'm not here by myself, but with my two brothers. We were split up when those blasted corpses awoke all of a sudden. You look as though you can wield a sword. Could you go look for them? Please, I'll even pay.
Where are they?
Probably up north, but who knows where those sodding creatures drove them.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. I'd come and help you, but I can barely walk anymore. I'll wait here.
Huh?
Now would you look at that?
A good spot.
Good news. We've finished researching a new technology.
Huh?
Corporal?
Huh? Oh, Raka! This blasted shield's heavy.
That way.
Yes?
Building completed.
Got it. A good spot.
Decide. Now. Goblin obey.
Our warriors are hungry. Let's find more food.
Make it quick.
Zaraka.
Chieftain, the outpost has been built. Our borders have expanded.
What do you want?
Good news. We've finished researching a new technology.
Failskin.
Start running!
Fine.
Will do.
What? This?
We'll make short work of them.
Yes?
Whatever's necessary. Yes.
Child play.
Undead.
What?
What's next?
Oh.
No, this can't be.
They're all dead.
Oh, really? Just how did you guess that?
Seems I'm late for the party. Good job you did there, High Keeper. It's not like I warned you this would happen if you didn't cooperate.
You bloody piece of filth! I swear I'll...
He's right, Highkeeper. If you hadn't refused to cooperate with the Deathmen, these soldiers would still be alive.
How dare you?
Forgive me, but we should not discuss this now. What about the tomb? Where are...
What was that?
The Vile Darg. The undead. They must have broken the seal.
There's no other choice. I need to perform the ritual.
What? No, you...
They will try to stop me. Defend me as long as you can.
Are you deaf? Stop it right now. This is an order.
Shit. Here they come.
More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
Pathetic.
More of them! Protect Kilroy! More of them! Protect Kilroy!
They will fall.
No, you can't.
Shit.
I killed them.
What about the Field Darg? Are we safe?
As long as we hold the fortress, yes. The world is safe. And as always, we're the ones who paid the price.
Well, will you be able to hold it?
Yes. The undead took this fortress because we didn't expect their ambush. We do now. As long as we keep the gates shut, we'll be able to fend them off.
That ritual he performed, what was it?
A sacrifice. He knew there was no time to seal the tomb manually, so he decided to act. Dutiful until the end.
What about the stone? We still need it.
Of course, you'll get your stone. Just wait here. I will get it. Here, is this the one you're looking for?
It is. Where did you have it?
In our treasury. It has been in the fortress since our order was founded. We never knew what it was and assumed it was a Hibernian artifact. Turns out it wasn't. Here, take it.
Thank you.
Thank me. You still have no idea what you prevented from happening, have you? If you hadn't been here, the File Darg would have awoken, and then the blood burn would have been the least of our worries. And here I am, not even knowing your name.
It's Tahar. Yes, like Isamo Tahar.
Oh, so you're... Huh. I... see. Well, Aenir's blade was never affected by your father's rebellion, but it seems you don't take after him. That's good. Anyway, all the best on your travels, and good luck.
Likewise.
Sir Catras, I think we should have a word. Yes, you will get your helmet.
Walking corpses. Take them down. Let's see.
Yes? Do you need anything else?
Yes?
Fine.
Now would you look at that? How did you become a shapeshifter?
I was chosen.
And how does that work?
Complicated. Are you sure you want to hear the whole story? Time isn't exactly on our side.
It isn't. But the more I know about your abilities, the better. You're fighting for me, after all.
We're not fighting for you, Tahar. We are fighting alongside each other. That's a big difference.
Alongside, then.
Good. Let's make it short, then. Shapeshifting is a gift of Zarek. One that only the best of his shamans are granted.
And how does one become a shaman?
He has to be chosen by a tribe's chieftain. You see, magical talent is a lot rarer among orcs than it is among humans or elves. In my tribe, there was only me and Rain. We both discovered our talent by chance. I, when I was 9, and put out a fire that had broken out in my family's hut. Everybody was asleep, even the damn fool that had been tasked to stand guard. When I woke up, the entire room was in flames.
So, it was your magic that woke you?
No, I needed to take a piss.
Makes sense. What happened then?
I panicked and started screaming, as every child would have. However, the only thing that did was make me inhale the fumes even quicker. My vision blurred and I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I was on a bed of hay in the village shaman's tent, and everybody was staring at me, as if I was Zarek incarnate. I asked what happened and they told me. Just when I had lost consciousness, it had started to rain. Not just a little. It was a full-fledged storm, a deluge from the skies. With not even a minute, all the tents in the village had been flooded. The fire wasn't extinguished right away, but was quickly put out by the other orcs that had been awoken by the storm.
That's impressive.
Well, it was also my last successful weather ritual. If it hadn't been, Barker Gore would be all meadows and forests by now. According to my brothers, I had an orange shimmer in my eyes and was muttering strange words when they took me to the shaman. She told me that was a clear sign that I was gifted, and that I had fire in my blood, as my tribe likes to say. Of course, it changed my life entirely. All of a sudden, I was my Cal's pride. It was strange, not just for me, but also for my kin.
Who trained you? The healer?
Yes, but only about her craft. Primitive ghost callings, alchemy, medicine. I learned my magic from an elder who lived in a tiny shack a 15-mile march from our village. I woke up every day before dawn, walked for 2 hours, served him, and received my lessons, and then returned to my Cal shortly before midnight. It was hard, yes, but it was insightful. Those long walks in the darkness, the solitude at the foot of the mountain where his shack was, they shaped me.
How did your family take it?
Well, they were proud, but they also weren't sure how to treat me anymore. For example, my father stopped taking me out on the hunt because he was afraid that something might happen, which is ridiculous, shaman or not. An orc who can't wield a spear isn't an orc at all. Also, my siblings became withdrawn. Jealousy, of course, but also estrangement. All of a sudden, their baby brother had become this strange being, which had apparently been bitten by Zarek himself.
It's always like that. Being different isolates you.
I guess.
Interesting. And who was this Rain you mentioned earlier?
Did I? Well, that's complicated. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. What do we need?
Tahar, what is it?
There's one thing I've been wondering about. After we parted at the hideout, what exactly happened? How did you and my father part ways?
Good question. I guess it all started with the relics, the tomes. You remember them, right?
Yes, he was hoping they'd help him to win the war.
Exactly. And there was this one moment when he found the 5th tome, when I came to a realization. You see, there were all those bodies, enemies, but also many of our people. We had shed so much blood, Tahar. But Asamo, he didn't care. If there was any grief in his eyes, I couldn't see it. And as dramatic as it may sound, that's when I finally understood that we had lost our cause. This wasn't about ideals, about us mages anymore. It was about him, whatever his intentions had become.
And that's the reason Zane, Helena, and I betrayed him. Come on, do you really want to tell us you didn't see that before? The tomes were all about power.
I knew it was about power, but Asamo always told us that he would use that power for the greater good. And it's not that far off. I mean, can't you imagine? With the power of the tomes, we could have united the world, even made it a better one. No more persecution of the deviant, no more wars, no more suffering.
You mean an aristocracy, with a couple of mages playing God?
There's always someone playing God. And honestly, don't you think the world would have been a better place if there were gods who actually cared? Who involved themselves in politics? I do.
Oh, the Corporal. Quite a nice place you found yourself here, I have to say. Thanks again for helping us out in that bloody desert. So, if you don't mind, we'll unload our cart and smithy here. As promised, we can provide you with the best weapons and armor on Northander. The only thing we need to ask of you is a small donation every time we craft something for you. I know, you saved our lives, but we still need to cover for the material.
No problem. I'll make sure to drop by from time to time.
Splendid. Nihal strength, Corporal.
Yes. Want to trade? Come again, mate Tiara.
Best you talk to Ulfric. He's good with words. I'm good with the anvil.
Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
I'd still like to know more about how you ended up in Northander.
Bugger and blast. And here I was hoping you'd forgotten. All right, I'll tell you. But only under one condition.
Yes?
That I get to ask you a personal question too.
Then we have a deal. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Fair enough. I was born in the Windwall Mountains. Sorry, still sorting out my thoughts. It's been a long time since I last told this story to anyone. Alright, one more time. As you can imagine, I was born in Windwall, a child of the rocks.
Come again?
A true dwarf, as some would say. Born in the buried city, not on the outside as the traders and farmers are. My family was quite privileged. Not nobility, but my mother and father led a big smeltery which supplied one of the finest smithies. Moon silver weaponry. Ever heard of it?
I think so. The commanders of the Royal Army use them.
Figures. Well, my childhood was a rather unremarkable one. I had two brothers and a sister, and even though I was the oldest child, I was always the most quiet one. I learned quickly how to wield an axe, and I still know how to do it, but I never took pleasure in it. Same goes for my parents' craft. For some reason, Nihalf had given me a talent for metallurgy, but not the desire to use it. Instead, my biggest love was always made with ink. Books.
And I assume your parents didn't approve of that.
Oh no, they didn't mind. I had 3 siblings who could do the job as well as I, so the future of our family was secured. On the contrary, they were quite accepting, which wasn't usual amongst dwarves, especially not those in Windwall.
Dwarves are traditionalists, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are. They love their brawls, they love their ale, and they love their metal crafting. And they never miss a chance to tell the outside world just how much they do.
Well, to be honest, when I think of dwarven culture, that's exactly what comes to my mind.
See? And that's the problem. There's always diversity in every race. There are soft-hearted orcs, there are elves who don't give a damn about the white tree, And there are humans with... well, you get the point. What I'm trying to say is, many dwarves love living these traditions, but there are some, like me, who just don't fit in. This is one of the reasons why I appreciate you and this group so much, Tahar. Aenir's tools or not, we're all pariahs, in one way or another.
Are the surface dwarves different?
Depends. There are some who are very open-minded. For example, the traders who get around a lot. On the other hand, there are some who are as ignorant as the Windwallers.
So, what happened? Why did you leave Windwall?
I'm getting there, Tahar. When I came of age, I found work in the Windwall Library. That time was also when I deepened my knowledge of the Shapers. I devoured all the books there were, and bought whatever writings the merchants brought in. They smiled at me, talked of me as the strange bird, but I didn't care. The more I read, the more spellbound I became, and the more I dreamed of journeying through Io to solve all those mysteries not yet uncovered.
Are there Shaper ruins in the Windwall Mountains?
Hardly. And those that are there are buried beneath miles and miles of rock. Impossible to access without a huge expedition.
Huh. And what kept you from doing just that?
Well, two things. First of all, my attachment to my family. Secondly, Gilak.
Gilak?
My, partner.
You had a partner?
Yeah. We met... I'd rather not go into detail too much. Fact is, we lived together for 6 years. He was very dear to me. Let's put it that way.
What are dwarven families like?
Similar to their human counterparts, I believe. Having family and offspring is considered to be very important, especially if you're of noble blood.
But living with someone of the same sex is acceptable?
Well, yes and no. If you do, you don't talk about it, and you should make sure to find yourself a wife or a husband to found a proper family, eventually, and bring new children of stone into the world, even if that family is just a charade. If you don't do that, you're frowned upon. There's even a word for a childless dwarf, man or woman. Galrag, which roughly translates as dusty boulder. Very amusing, I know.
That's sad.
Well, I doubt it's going to change anytime soon. And once again, the Shapers were different in that regard. As long as you stay within the boundaries of your caste, you could do as you pleased.
I understand. But something happened, didn't it?
Yeah. The Blackstone Rebellion. Ever heard of it?
Yes. A coup, wasn't it?
Yeah. An attempt to overthrow the royal house. It was bound to fail from the beginning. The rebels were anti-traditionalist and wanted to establish a new order, where it's the people who have the power, not the nobility. Gilak was one of these rebels.
Oh.
Yeah. At first, before the coup, they tried to raise awareness by giving underground speeches. A noble endeavor, but not at all thought through. Most dwarves just don't care about politics as long as they can have their mugs of ale. First, he didn't ask me to participate, but the more sour things went, the more he started pushing me. At one point, we had a fight, when he asked me to steal money from my family to support the movement. It was terrible. Finally, push came to shove, and he told me of the coup. He knew that despite my occupation, I was a remarkable fighter and Earthshaper, which is why he asked me to fight alongside him. You can make a difference, that's what he said. By Nihalf, he was just so naive. He really thought it would be like in the old legends, a group of courageous dwarfs fighting their way to Algrim Castle with me at his side. I just don't... Forgive me. It's strange to talk about it like this.
It's okay. Thank you for trusting me.
Yeah, sure. You can imagine how torn I was. I knew he'd die if the coup took place, but I also knew that I couldn't stop him. When I told him he was mad, he called me a coward, a delusional bookworm, who'd rather spend his whole life dreaming about the past and changing the present. And then he left. The next day, I found him beheaded by a royal guard. They didn't even make it to the castle stairs.
I'm sorry, Iskram.
It's all right.
Why didn't you tell the guard about the movement's plans? They could have stopped him.
Yeah, they could have. Only to execute him and all his friends the next morrow. Tahar, believe me, I thought about this quite a lot. About what I could or should have done. And do you want to know the saddest part of it?
What?
I came to the conclusion that I did nothing wrong. He had his mind set. And nothing I could have said would have changed what had been about to happen. In the end, there's only so much you can do.
What happened then?
I ran. Not only because I'd rather have died than returned to that empty house of ours, but also because they would have arrested me too. Our relationship wasn't a secret, and in their eyes, I was as eccentric as Gilak and his friends. And we all know how dangerous eccentrics are, don't we? I left my family a letter, telling them not to come after me, bought a horse, and rode as far as it would take me before collapsing. That was 9 years ago. I haven't returned ever since.
What about your family? Did you ever hear from them again?
Not directly. Every now and then, I return to a big city to find a dwarf who can tell me about Windwall. But the thought of returning, I don't know. I know it's cruel toward them, but I just don't think I could ever bear setting foot in those cursed stone halls again.
I see. And since then, you've been studying the Shapers.
Yeah. If there really is, as people say, a silver lining to everything, then this would be it. I'm finally doing what I was too afraid to do back in Windwall. I'm living my dream. Though the price I paid for it was high. And you know what, Tahar?
What?
There's a third reason to my fascination with the Shapers I haven't told you about yet. It's Gilak. Stupid as it may sound, there's a part of me who wants to prove him wrong. To show him that the past has value. That it can guide us towards a better world.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing this, Iskram. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It felt good to talk about it. I didn't expect that. But you're not off the hook yet. The question, remember?
Right. Shoot.
Your past is even more unusual than mine. Growing up with a man like Isamu Tahar as your father? Without a mother? And then the whole thing with the Mage Rebellion? I know you've been through a lot. Now, I was wondering, if you could trade that past you've had for a different one, would you do it?
What kind of past could I choose? Anything?
Anything.
I wouldn't.
That surprises me, to be honest. But I think I understand. Either way, pleasure speaking with you. Hope this wasn't too grim for you, but then again, you asked for it. Give me some time now, will you?
Sure. Take care, Iskram.
Yes? What is it?
Back when we met, you told me about an internal disagreement, which led to many of the guild's mages leaving. What exactly happened?
Why do you want to know?
No particular reason. I'm simply curious.
I see. Well, simply put, the guild had two leaders until half a year ago, me and Lena. Lena and a lot of the other mages felt that they could uphold their neutrality no longer without sacrificing their integrity.
You're talking about the persecution of mages.
Yes, I am. As Lena said, they are crucifying us, burning us alive, putting masks on our heads that destroy our minds. If there's something wrong with the world, it's people who keep their heads down because they are afraid to stand in for what's right.
Sounds like she was an idealist.
I suppose you could call her that, yes. However, her stance conflicted with everything the Creators Guild stands for. We preserve knowledge, push forward the boundaries of magic. We do not involve ourselves in power games and politics. Figuratively speaking, a fisher will never be a good military commander, just like a mage will never be a good politician.
So where did Lena and the other mages go?
I do not know. They left to fight the purity and save mages, but I have not seen them ever since.
Could you tell me more about Lena? What was her position in the guild?
She was the guild's treasure master. Other than that, I do not know what to tell you. She was quite young when she joined the guild, not even 24 winters old. and immensely talented. When it came to mentalism, her skills were unmatched. She was different than the others. She was better than the others. And I always saw a spark of genius in her eyes. And yes, I do know that most people would call that attraction. But it was just a fraction of what made our bond unique.
Well, I understand the conflict.
Well, you are an empathetic woman, so I would have been surprised if you did not. But these events lie in the past. There is no point in discussing them any further, though I had certainly hoped for a different outcome.
You seem bitter.
As I said, I had hoped for a different outcome. Yes?
Yes, Corporal? How can I help?
Well, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. How did you become an assassin?
Why do you want to know?
Because I want to know my allies.
Huh. I see. In short, my mother sold me. And after an incident, my owner noticed my talents. He started to train me to carry out jobs for him. And when I was 17, he had an accident. I've been an independent assassin ever since.
Your mother sold you? But where? Why?
Because she needed the coin, and already had 4 children to feed. And as for your first question, where there is demand, there is a market. Particularly in a big city like Greyfell. It's not as uncommon as you might believe.
That's quite the story.
Is it?
Even if she needed the money, that's despicable.
Well, to her credit, she didn't take it lightly. At least as far as I can remember. I was only 7 when that happened.
That doesn't make it better. You're saying there's a slave market in Greyfell?
Slaves, sex, murdering for pleasure. Just imagine every dark desire you can think of. And you know what the Greyfell Bazaar has to offer. I find it interesting that this surprises you. Didn't you serve in the Royal Army for 8 years?
I only joined shortly before the Mage Wars started. And the Greyfell affairs were the responsibility of the Greyfell Guard. I just didn't know.
Well, now you do. I do not agree with the purity of light in most aspects. But they are right when they say there are many sinners in this world. If you believe in the concept of sin, that is.
How do you feel about this? Your mother selling you off?
Well, I used to feel strongly about it. Now I've simply accepted it as part of my past. But there are plenty of reasons for that.
So, who was this man who bought you?
I won't talk about that. This chapter of my past is done, and I want it to stay buried.
I understand.
I'm glad you do. So, tell me, Pariah, how did you become the Betrayer's child in the first place? It's rare for a child to defy their own father.
He lost his vision. When he started the rebellion, it was about the safety of mages. But he became more and more radical. I just couldn't stand by and watch anymore.
That's admirable. Well, thank you for sharing this with me. Either way, is there anything else you need?
There's something I've been wondering. How can you kill for a living?
What do you mean? How can I align it with my morals?
Yes.
I don't know if this is the right moment for this conversation. Maybe another time.